Hello and welcome back to Mastering English Podcast, the place where we break down English for you. I'm your host, Alex.
And I'm Sam. Good to see you, everyone. We are here for another deep dive.
We absolutely are. And today we're tackling something that feels, so simple on the surface, but is actually one of the trickiest parts of daily conversation. We're talking about your day.
It sounds so basic, right? But it's a conversational minefield. I see this all the time.
Totally. It's that moment. You run into someone, they ask you that one question, and your brain just freezes up.
The dreaded, how are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do we always say? The classic, the one that just, stops the conversation dead in its tracks.
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm fine, thank you. Or maybe you get adventurous and say, good. And it's polite, it's correct, but it's like putting a period at the end of a sentence that never even got started.
It's a conversational dead end. You've hit the nail on the head. Linguistically, it's perfectly adequate. But it's not dynamic. It doesn't invite connection. So our mission today is, I think, a big one. We want to move you past those short, kind of boring answers.
Yes.
We're going to arm you with the vocabulary, the grammar, and maybe most importantly, the conversational strategies to describe your entire day, whether it was amazing or awful or just, completely ordinary.
I love that because if you can do that, if you can really narrate your day, you're not just making small talk. You're using all the core English skills, right? You're talking about the past, your habits, your feelings.
It's a microcosm of the entire language. And speaking of language that captures all the ups and downs of life, we have a little challenge for you later, a pop quiz.
Oh, okay.
We're going to test you on the very subtle but very important difference between saying your day was hectic versus saying it was a roller coaster.
Ah, I like that. They sound similar, but I have a feeling they're not.
They're really not. But before we get into all of that, we have one small thing to ask.
Yes. If you are serious about leveling up your English and finally getting past I'm fine, please do us a huge favor. Take a second right now to subscribe to Mastering English Podcast and like this deep dive.
It's the single best way to support us, and it helps us reach more learners just like you.
Okay, let's do this. Where do we start? The beginning of the day.
Let's start at the beginning of the interaction with the greeting.
Okay, greetings. I feel like this is an area where people kind of get stuck in one mode, formal or informal.
Exactly. Let's break them down. First, the formal stuff. This is your foundation for, polite, respectful situations.
Like a job interview or meeting your partner's parents for the first time, the high-stakes moments.
Precisely. And the classics are simple. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. They're tied to the time of day. Very straightforward.
And you use these when you arrive somewhere, right?
Yeah.
To kick things off.
That's the key. They are arrival greetings. But here's a little detail and nuance that often trips learners up. We use good evening when we arrive somewhere after, say, 6 p.m. or when it gets dark. It's a greeting.
Right. But people confuse it
with good night. And this is a critical distinction. Good night is not a greeting.
It's a farewell. It's what you say when you're leaving.
Only when you're leaving. Or when someone is literally going to bed. If you walk into a restaurant at 8 p.m. and say good night, the host is going to be very confused.
They'll think you're just turning around and walking out.
They'll say, wait, you just got here.
Yeah.
It creates a really awkward moment. So arrive with good evening, leave with good night.
Got it. And while we're on formal interactions, there's a cultural tip we should probably mention, especially for the U.S. context, the handshake.
A very important nonverbal cue. When you meet someone new formally, a handshake is customary.
But not all handshakes are equal, are they?
Not at all. In the U.S., you're looking for a firm handshake, not, bone-crushing, but definitely not limp or weak, confident.
And how long should it last?
Yeah.
Because that can get awkward, too.
It can. The sweet spot is about 2 to 3 seconds, just a quick, firm connection. Long enough to say, nice to meet you. Any longer, and it starts to feel a little strange.
Okay, that's a great practical tip. Now let's pivot to the fun stuff, the casual energy. This is where most of us live, right? Talking to friends, coworkers.
This is where we leave good morning behind and get into things like, hi, hey, how's it going?
And the undisputed king of casual greetings. What's up?
Our first big vocabulary deep dive. What's up? It's everywhere, but it works very differently from, how are you?
Okay, let's spotlight that difference right away. When I ask you, what's up? Oh, am I actually asking for a detailed report on your life?
Almost certainly not. The definition is basically an informal acknowledgement. It's like saying, hey, I see you. Anything new happening right now? But it doesn't really demand a specific, detailed answer.
So the expected reply isn't about my health or my feelings. It's more low energy.
Totally. The classic answers are not much, or just chillin', or same old, same old. The goal of the reply isn't really to give information, it's just to return the greeting and signal that things are normal.
I think we need to see this in action. Let's do that thing where we explored in 5 different contexts to really get the feel.
I love this. Okay, let's start with a formal setting.
Right, so I walk into a meeting with a new, very important client. Can I say, "What's up, Mr. Henderson?"
Absolutely not. That's our first example. It's total absence from formal situations. It would sound incredibly awkward, maybe even disrespectful. It's just too casual. You'd never say, "What's up, Your Honor?" to a judge.
Okay, so that's a hard no. What about the most common use, just a casual run-in?
Perfect. Imagine you see a friend on the street. You'd say, "Hey, what's up?" And they might say, "Not much, just heading to class. What's up with you?" It's just a way to open the door to a quick chat.
Simple enough. Now, what about a funny or, like, a silly usage?
This is where people play with the literal meaning of the word up. So you ask, "What's up?" And they look up at the ceiling and say,
The ceiling.
"The ceiling mostly," or "The price of coffee, unfortunately." It's a classic dad joke, a little pun.
I like that. It shows you're comfortable with the language.
Yeah.
What about a more philosophical take on it?
You can use it ironically to start a deeper thought. Someone asks, "Hey, what's up?" And you reply, deadpan, "Oh, just contemplating the fleeting nature of existence. Also, trying to decide what to have for lunch."
Huh, right. Using a low-stakes question to introduce a high-stakes idea. That's very clever.
It's all about playing with expectations.
Okay, let's put this all together in a longer role play. Let's say we're 2 old friends who haven't seen each other in ages, and we just bump into each other in a bookstore.
I like it. Let's do it. You can spot me first.
Oh my gosh, no way. Hey, what's up, man? I feel like I haven't seen you in, like, 5 years.
Whoa. This is crazy. Not much, just, browsing, trying to find a new book to get into. You look great.
Thanks. You too. Seriously, what have you been up to? Are you still working at that design firm downtown?
I am, yeah. It's been pretty hectic lately, but it's good. What about you? Last I heard you were thinking of moving. What's up with that? Did it happen?
It did. We moved last month. It was a whole thing, but we're finally settled. It's been great. So much quieter than our old place.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Hey, what's up with your brother? Is he still living abroad?
He is, yeah. He's in Spain now. He loves it.
Wow. We really need to catch up properly. It feels like so much has happened.
I know, right? This is so random. Well, look, I gotta run, but we could definitely grab a coffee soon.
Absolutely. I'll text you. So good to see you.
You too. Talk soon.
That worked really well. We saw how what's up can be the starting point, but then it naturally transitions into more specific questions using what's up with.
Right, which brings us to the collocations and other ways the phrase is used.
Exactly. Let's break down 5 common variations. Number 1, like we just used, is "What's up, man?" or "What's up, dude?" Super standard, friendly, casual.
Okay.
Number 2 is a big one because the meaning totally changes. What's up with that?
Yeah. That's not a greeting.
Not at all. That's asking for an explanation for something strange or unexpected, like they canceled the concert. What's up with that? It means, why did that happen?
Got it. Crucial difference.
Number 3, what's up, dog? This one is very informal and a little dated. You might hear it among very close friends, but I'd say use it with caution. It can sound a bit strange if the context isn't right.
Okay, maybe avoid that one for now.
Good call. Number 4 is "What's up, team?" This is great for addressing a group in a casual setting, like a coach before practice or a manager in a relaxed team meeting.
And number 5.
Number 5 is a bit playful. "What's up, trouble?" You might say this to a friend who you know is always getting into funny situations. It's a term of endearment, really.
So the big takeaway, the nuance here, is that it's all about the energy. You have to match the casual vibe, use it in a formal setting, and it just falls flat.
You've got it. It requires a level of comfort and familiarity. Okay, so we've handled the greeting. Now we get to the next step, the question that is supposed to open up the conversation but so often shuts it down.
The "how was your day?" Trap?
The trap. And we need to dissect why it's a trap. This is our first big concept breakdown. The problem is that "how was your day?" is a closed-ended question.
What does that mean exactly, a closed-ended question?
It's a question that's designed to get a short, factual, often one-word answer, yes or no, good or bad. It asks for an evaluation, not a story.
And the person answers fine or good or bad, and then silence. The person who asked has nothing to follow up on, conversation over.
Exactly. Let's use an analogy. Asking how was your day is like checking a box on a form. It's a piece of social data, but it's not a conversation.
Okay, so that's checking a box. What's the alternative? How do we open the book instead?
We need to ask an open-ended question. And the switch is so simple, but so powerful. Instead of, how was your day? You ask,
Tell me about your day.
tell me about your day. See the difference? The grammar itself is an invitation. How was expects an adjective. Tell me expects a narrative, a story.
That's so smart. Because even if the person is tired and just says, oh, it was fine, you can kind of gently push back.
You can, because they haven't actually answered the about part. You can say, fine, yeah, what made it fine? It creates this little bit of positive pressure to share more.
Let's role play this. First, the closed question and the conversational death it brings. I'll get home from work, you ask me.
Okay. Hey, welcome home. You look tired. How was your day?
Yeah, it was fine. Long day.
Okay. Well, dinner's in about an hour.
Cool. Thanks.
And scene. The conversation is over. We learned nothing.
Right. Total dead end. Now let's rewind. Same situation, but you use the open-ended question.
Okay. Hey, welcome home. You look like you've had a day. Tell me about it.
It was fine, I guess. Just really busy.
Busy, huh? Tell me more. What was the most demanding part?
Well, this morning was just nonstop meetings back to back. And then this afternoon, I got this email out of the blue from that client we were worried about.
And boom, we have a story. I have something to ask about. Who's the client? What was in the email? The conversation is alive.
That's a night and day difference. It's such a simple change.
It is. And here's a pro tip to take it even one step further. If you really want to show you're interested, you can ask an even more specific, open-ended question.
So instead of the general, tell me about your day, what's an example?
You could ask something that forces them to pick a specific detail, like what was the best part of your day?
Ooh, I like that. Because even on a terrible day, there's usually one thing that wasn't awful.
Right. Maybe the best part was the coffee they had at 10 a.m., which ironically tells you a lot about how bad the rest of the day was.
Or you could ask, what was the most surprising thing that happened today?
Exactly. Or, what's keeping you busy these days? You're guiding them toward a story and making it easy for them to talk.
Okay, so we've opened the door. Now the other person actually needs the words to describe their day beyond just good or bad.
This is where we get into the fun stuff, the descriptive vocabulary. Our sources give us 4 really useful categories for intermediate learners.
What are they?
We can describe a day as ordinary, quiet, hectic, or special.
Okay, let's start with the low-energy ones. Ordinary and quiet. They sound similar.
They are, but with a key difference. An ordinary day is just that. Normal, routine, predictable, nothing unexpected happened.
So if I were describing an ordinary day, I'd just list my routine.
Pretty much. You'd say, hey, it was just an ordinary day. I woke up at my usual time, had my usual breakfast, went to work, came home, watched some TV. Nothing really to report. It's the absence of drama.
Okay, so how is a quiet day different?
A quiet day implies more than just routine. It implies a lack of busyness. It was relaxed, peaceful, and often it implies a deliberate choice to be that way.
Ah, so an ordinary day might still be busy with normal work, but a quiet day is intentionally slow.
Precisely. The emotional language is key. You might say, I had such a lovely, quiet day. I didn't set an alarm. I just read a book on the couch all morning. I felt really lazy in a good way. It was just peaceful.
I need more of those quiet days.
Oh.
Okay, so that's the calm before the storm. Let's talk about the polar opposite.
The hectic day. This is such a high-frequency, useful word.
And this brings us back to our pop quiz teaser. Is hectic just a fancier word for busy? And how is it different from a roller coaster day?
This is a fantastic question. So the definition of hectic is being extremely busy or full of activity. But here's the critical nuance.
Okay.
It almost always implies stress, rushing, or feeling overwhelmed.
Ah, so busy can be a good thing. Like, I was busy all day working on a project I love. That's positive.
Exactly. Busy is neutral, but hectic is almost always negative. It means you were rushing, you felt out of control, you were exhausted by the activity.
And what about roller coaster?
A hectic day is about nonstop, stressful activity. A roller coaster day is about emotional ups and downs. You could have a very slow, not at all busy day that was a roller coaster. Imagine you get a promotion in the morning and then find out your best friend is moving away in the afternoon. No rushing, but huge emotional swings.
Got it. Hectic is about stressful speed. Roller coaster is about emotional volatility. That's a great distinction.
Let's do a deep dive on hectic. 5 examples, 5 different contexts.
Let's hear them.
Okay, first, A formal business context. You might say the final quarter of the year is always a hectic period for our sales team. It describes a stressful but predictable time. A key collocation there is hectic schedule.
Makes sense. What about a casual personal one?
You could say, my whole week has been so hectic, I feel like I haven't had a second to just breathe. That really captures the feeling of being overwhelmed. Hectic lifestyle is another one.
Totally. What about a funny example?
You could use it to exaggerate a bit. It was so hectic this morning, I'm pretty sure I put salt in my coffee instead of sugar. It paints a picture of being so rushed you're making silly mistakes.
Been there. Okay, a historical example.
You could imagine describing, say, the final days before a major historical event. The mood in the war room must have been incredibly hectic as they prepared for the invasion. It captures that sense of urgent, high-stakes activity, hectic pace.
And a philosophical one.
You could say something like, modern life is a hectic dance between our digital obligations and our desire for real-world connection.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay, role play time. A dialogue about a terrible, hectic morning routine.
Yeah.
I'll ask you why you were late for a meeting.
Perfect.
Hey, you made it. Everything okay? You seem a little frazzled.
Frazzled is the word. I'm so sorry I'm late. My morning was an absolute disaster. The most hectic start to a day I've had in ages.
Oh no, what happened?
Traffic. That was part of it. First, I slept through my alarm, so I had to jump out of bed and just throw on some clothes, no time for breakfast. Then, of course, because I was late, I hit the worst of the rush hour traffic. It was just a parking lot on the highway.
That's the worst feeling, when you're already late and you're just stuck.
It's awful. And then I get here, spill coffee all over my shirt, and realize I left the report I was supposed to present on my kitchen counter. It's been non-stop chaos.
Wow. That's not just busy, that is the definition of a hectic day at the office. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Hopefully the rest of the day is a bit calmer. I can't handle this pace all day. My whole hectic week has felt like this.
Well, let's grab a coffee after this meeting and just take a breath.
That sounds amazing. Thank you.
That role play really sold the feeling of stress and rushing. So to recap the nuances for hectic.
Right. 5 key collocations. Hectic pace, hectic schedule, hectic lifestyle, hectic day at the office, and hectic week. And the core nuance is that it always implies difficulty or a lack of time. It's not just being active.
Great. Okay, that brings us to our fourth and final type of day, the special day.
This one is usually positive. It's a day that stands out from the ordinary.
And it's often defined by some kind of happy surprise, right? Something unexpected happens.
Exactly. The best special days often start out looking ordinary, and then suddenly something happens. Out of the blue.
Ooh, that is a fantastic idiom. Out of the blue. Let's do a deep dive on that one.
Let's do it.
So my first question is, does it just mean unexpectedly? Or is there more to it, a stronger feeling?
There's definitely a stronger feeling. The definition is suddenly and completely unexpectedly, without any warning. The blue refers to a clear blue sky, so it's like something just appearing from nowhere on a clear day.
Ah, so it's for big, significant surprises, not for like, I found $1 on the street out of the blue.
Exactly. That's a minor surprise. Out of the blue is for something more impactful. A call from an old friend you haven't spoken to in 10 years. That's out of the blue. Getting a job offer you didn't even apply for. That's out of the blue.
Okay, let's get the 5 contexts to really lock this in.
Number 1, formal. In a business report, you might write, the sudden drop in the stock market came out of the blue, surprising all analysts. Number 2, casual. I was just watching TV when my cousin showed up at my door out of the blue. He was in town for one night and wanted to say hi.
That's a classic use. Funny or weird.
You can use it to describe a strange, surreal moment. We were having a serious conversation and then my dog, out of the blue, started howling along to the opera music on the radio.
I'd like to see that. What about historical?
You could describe a sudden breakthrough in negotiations. For weeks, the talks were stalled, and then, out of the blue, one side offered a major concession and a peace treaty was signed.
And philosophical.
This one is great for describing creativity. Sometimes the best ideas for a new project just come to you out of the blue when you're in the shower or going for a walk, not when you're trying to force it.
That is so true. Okay, let's do a role play about a special day that was kicked off by some news that came completely out of the blue.
Sounds good. You can tell me about your amazing day.
So it started off as a totally ordinary Tuesday. I was just, answering emails, planning my week.
Nothing special.
Nothing at all. And then I get this phone call. It's an unknown number. I almost didn't answer.
Ah, the mystery call.
Right. And it's this woman, and she says she's from the City Arts Council. And completely out of the blue, she tells me that the photograph I submitted to that contest last year just won the grand prize.
No way. A
And
call out of the blue like that, months later, that's amazing.
I was totally shocked.
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten I even entered. So that news just like made my entire year. The prize money is enough to buy that new camera I've been wanting forever.
Wow. So the whole mood of your day just changed in an instant.
Instantly. I was just floating on air. I couldn't focus on work, so I just took the rest of the day off and went for a long walk in the park. It was a perfect sunny day. Everything felt different.
All because some good news appeared out of the blue. That's the definition of a special day.
It really was.
Excellent. So let's lock in the collocations for that one.
Okay.
You can say something happened out of the blue. That's the most common. A person can appear out of the blue. You can get a call out of the blue or news out of the blue.
And it can also be negative, right? Like a storm.
Yes, unfortunately. You can say that a tragedy, like an illness, can strike out of the blue. The key nuance is always that it's significant and completely without warning.
Okay, so we have our 4 types of days. Are there other more idiomatic ways to describe them?
Absolutely. This is where you can really start to sound natural. For a good day, you can say things like, it was smooth sailing.
Like on a calm ocean, no problems.
Exactly. Or, it was a picture-perfect day, meaning everything went exactly as you'd hoped. For a day where you were just relaxed and adaptable, you could say, I just went with the flow.
I like those. They paint a really clear picture. And this brings us back, finally, to the last big vocabulary item in this section.
The roller coaster.
So we already established that it's about ups and downs, not just being busy. But why that specific metaphor? What does it really imply?
The metaphor is perfect because a roller coaster physically lifts you up high, gives you that moment of a great view, that's the high point of your day, and then it plunges you down into a stomach-churning drop. That's the low.
So it's not just variation, it's extreme variation.
Extreme variation is the key. The definition is a day with significant emotional highs and lows. It implies unpredictability and a mix of good and bad events. If your day was just bad, it wasn't a roller coaster, it was just a bad day. You need the up part.
Okay, let's do the 5 contexts for roller coaster.
Let's do it. 1, formal, often used for data. The stock market's performance this month has been a real roller coaster, meaning it went up and down sharply. A financial roller coaster.
Oh.
2, casual, for personal life. My dating life lately has been a complete roller coaster. 1 week is amazing, the next is a disaster.
Very relatable. A funny one.
You can use it for a frustrating task. Trying to build this IKEA bookshelf was an emotional roller coaster. There was triumph, despair, confusion, and finally, a slightly wobbly victory.
I have lived that exact roller coaster. Historical.
Perfect for describing a complex period. The early days of the civil rights movement were a roller coaster of devastating setbacks and incredible hard-won victories. It captures that mix of hope and despair.
And philosophical.
A classic one is, life itself is a roller coaster. You just have to learn to enjoy the ride. It's a statement about embracing unpredictability. Life is a roller coaster.
Great examples. Let's role play a day that was a true roller coaster with at least one big up and one big down.
Okay, you asked me how my presentation went.
Hey, I heard you had the big presentation to the board today. How did it go?
Oh man, don't even ask. My entire day has been an absolute roller coaster.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
Or does it?
What happened?
Well, the up was the presentation itself. It was smooth sailing. They loved my ideas. They approved the budget. I was walking out of there feeling like I was on top of the world, a huge high.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. So what was the down?
The down came an hour later. I got back to my desk and saw an email from HR. My favorite coworker, the person I collaborate with on everything, is leaving the company. I was just gutted.
Oh, no. To go from that incredible high, the successful presentation, to that really sad news, that is an emotional roller coaster.
Exactly. I went from feeling super motivated and excited about the project to feeling completely deflated and sad about the team changing. It was such a swing.
I can totally see that. It wasn't hectic necessarily, but the emotional whiplash is intense.
That's the word for it, whiplash.
Okay, so let's summarize the collocations for roller coaster. We had emotional roller coaster, financial roller coaster.
Right. Also, roller coaster ride, as in it's been a real roller coaster ride, and roller coaster of emotions, and of course, the big philosophical one. Life is a roller coaster. The key nuance is always that combination of positive and negative events. Without both, it's not a roller coaster.